Hello everybody and welcome back. Today we're gonna do a little bit of a writing afternoon. It is afternoon, it is 1 o'clock, so I have just a couple of hours, but I can do it. I was supposed to spend this afternoon editing a podcast episode, and I will not be doing that. But before we get into the writing, I wanted to give you a little bit of a recap as to where I am right now with my fiction Project Caramel Latte. So, for those of you who are new to this, basically, I wrote a fiction novel which is an urban fantasy murder mystery, which takes place here in Salisbury. I am using the project title Project Caramel Latte. I basically finished it about a year ago, almost exactly. I started querying it. It did not last very long, the querying process. I realized that there were some fundamental structural issues with the book. I was hoping I was wrong. I got a manuscript request that basically said the same thing, so that was devastating because then I knew I had to rewrite the whole book. Luckily, the agent said that he was willing to reread the book once I had finished rewriting it. So I rewrote it and I sent it off to him, and this was where I left you off. I did all of that up until November, which is when I sent it back to that agent in November, and then I kind of stopped vlogging. Basically, in December, before the Christmas break, he did get back to me, and it was once again another no. I feel a lot better about the no this time. I did even in the moment, I promise. I think part of the devastation the first time was that I knew there was something fundamentally wrong with the project that I would have to rewrite, and I don't like when there is something that I've done that isn't perfect. So the draft that I have now is so much better, and a lot of that is because of feeling better about going and doing those edits because of this agent's feedback. And his no was incredibly kind and very nice and encouraging, and said that he really wants to see it published. So I think that that is good, and it was very encouraging. So I started January querying again. I am not going to be recording the querying process this time around for many reasons, but basically I'm just not going to. Maybe I'll do like a recap, just chat to the camera about my experience afterwards. But for right now, that's all you're going to get on the querying as far as updates are concerned. However, this Project Caramel Latte is supposed to be the first book in a series, and so I'm going to be working on book 2. Now I'm trying to decide whether to call it book 2 of Project Caramel Latte or have its own project name. Back when I was initially querying Project Caramel Latte, I was actually working out the plot points of book 2, and I was calling it Project Pumpkin Spice Latte. I think I might just call it book 2 of Project Caramel Latte. I think I might just leave it at that for now. But basically, I plotted everything out like a year ago, back when I was querying for the first time, and I was doing the 4 a.m. morning sessions, and then I had to take a step back from it in order to rewrite book 1, and now that book 1 is done, I keep meaning to go back to book 2, and I have tried it on a couple occasions. I've gone into it, I've done some work on it, I have a couple thousand words written. I did some at a cafe before the Christmas break. I was working out puzzles for it. I just find there's always something else keeping me from working on it, and I don't really know what it is. And I kept just kind of waiting for inspiration to strike me and get me motivated to go and do it. And that's not how things work. At least not for me. I think I just need to start writing. That's it. So we're going to start writing and get into it. I have been getting very distracted this week very easily. So we're going to leave my desk and we're gonna go to a coffee shop. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Just go to a coffee shop and do some working in Project Caramel Latte book 2.
Oi! Alright. We are very crooked. Oh well. Hope that's fine. We are back home, and I might do a tiny bit more work, but it's all gonna be kind of more planning-y stuff because so back in November, December, I was working on this book, and I was devising puzzles that the main character was going to find, and I wanted them to be solvable by readers, so I was going through all of this different stuff. Anyway, I had decided on this whole code and a riddle associated with it and all this kind of stuff. I wrote it down on a scrap sheet of paper. Why I did this, I don't know. But I did that in order to have it separate from all of my notes, so that way I could give it to somebody in order to see if they could solve it, and then if they couldn't, if I told them how to, if they thought it was like cheap or something. All went well. I cannot find that sheet of paper. I realized it was missing yesterday, maybe Monday, but I realized it was missing the other day. I went hunting for it. I couldn't find it anywhere. I don't know where it went, and I now need to redo that entirely. I thought I had I was able to like just amend it and put things together, and then as I was writing the scene where she's explaining the solution and kind of going through it, I realized, oh, this doesn't work. What I had devised, I mean, it works, but it's more complicated than it should be, so I need to redo it. Anyway, so I'm going to do that, as well as some notes of some additional scenes that I know that I want to add in. But I'm just going to do that on the couch in front of a reality show. I don't care about being distracted anymore. Because we wrote 1,707 words today. It is not the most I've ever written, but also not the least I've ever written, so there is that. I'm happy for any start. I think I'm starting to get a good flow for things now that I've started. It means that I'm probably gonna have to go back and really edit these first couple of scenes because it's very all over the place in my brain, but it doesn't matter. I can always edit. You cannot edit a blank page. I can edit what I have because there are words there for me to deal with. I just need to keep going. And so I'm really happy with the fact that I have made a pretty good, decent start at it. And I'm starting to get into the flow of it. I'm starting to get really excited about it. So hopefully I'll be picking up steam to the point where I can be starting to do a nice amount of words every session. Thanks for being with me on my little cheeky writing when I should have been doing something else day. And I will see you next time. Bye!